you've had a vote for the All NBA teams in the past, correct? I would assume so.
I stopped voting for the NBA awards many, many years ago.
But you've done it, right? So you know the process and
Sure.
how much. You hear Bill Simmons talk about it constantly. I take my vote seriously. It's like, well, I hope you do, right? Because there are guys that have actual, money. Like, you just take us through the process that you would do to culminate, to get all the information you would need to make what you thought was the right decision on these All NBA awards. I know it must be a little stressful considering, the outcomes actually have some financial bearing on some of these guys.
Well, you just encapsulated the reason why I stopped doing it. I don't think it's ethical for media people to have a direct impact on the income of the people they're covering. I just don't think that's ethical at all. And I'm vice president of the PBWA, the Professional Basketball Writers Association, and I've brought this up on numerous occasions, but it's never been something that we've been able to do in a blanket sense. I think we should run from that. When I did vote, yeah, of course we took it seriously. And here's the other thing too, is that your name gets attached to your votes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you vote, if you cover the Celtics and you have a vote for MVP, and if Taco gets a first place vote for MVP, we know who you are. And so trust me, I mean, look, Gary Washburn's a friend of mine. And, a few years ago, and it was actually a Jeopardy question. Jerry Washburn got mentioned on Jeopardy. He was the only person who didn't vote for LeBron James for MVP, didn't give him a first place. People knew about that. So yeah, you take your votes, people take their votes seriously. When you look at when, hey, I've always looked at it like, again, number one, not ethical. Number two, we should sit back, let the players vote on these awards, and then, look at all the really cool, fun columns we'd have to write when they screw it up. Okay? I mean, because, it's what happens. The players may know the game and the ins and outs better, but they don't pay attention, I don't think, there are some players who are totally into watching all kinds of games. I remember year before last, or Kemba's first year here, John Morant was coming into town as a rookie. And I pulled Kemba aside before the game. He gave me some time. And I said, look, do you feel like an old gunfighter, and there's a new, guy coming in town to test you almost every night. Mm-hmm. And he went on and on about, I watch these guys all the time. I'm studying them, but I'm watching them. I think it's cool. And, but there's a lot of guys that they're in their own sphere, and, more power to them. They don't have to be, they're focused on their job, which is cool. So yeah, I think it's wrong that media votes on it, but I think that the media has, as much as it's put out there that, they're not going to vote for somebody they don't like or something like that. These votes are public. You do see some screwy votes out there. And sometimes, and luckily we don't see that if there are Boston people involved, but sometimes the broadcasters in different cities who are, if not hired by the team directly, the team has right of refusal over that person. So, you've seen some strange votes over the years, but I think that the media is probably best equipped to get it right. And even to argue the issues. Like this year, did a guy play enough games to get, mentioned or to get voted on? Did, Kevin Durant, did he play enough or didn't he play enough? And, so there's that. And hopefully that encompasses what, the overall question, but.
If you can to whatever degree, I guess you can take us behind the curtain, and I'm making it about the Celtics, but it's not about the Celtics. It's not about Wick specifically and ownership there, just a team's mentality. Jayson Tatum, obviously, in being an all NBA snub, loses out on up to $32 million. Any team wants to have a player who's all NBA, but that being said, when there's that kind of trigger within a contract, behind the scenes, is a team not that devastated that they're not having to pay that extra $32 million?
I would just, again, leaning on human nature, you'd have to think there's some of that. But that gets into the thing of, if you have GMs vote on stuff, then a GM, like a GM and there's a Celtic competitor is going to say, oh yeah, we want Jayson Tatum there because that's going to bollocks up their payroll.
Hi guys, Cedric Maxwell here. I want to take a minute to tell you about Marigold Medical. I'm used to keeping my body in great shape, but with arthritis, even the most simple everyday tasks became unbearable. As soon as I called Marigold Medical, I knew I was in good hands. No drugs, no surgery, just an experienced team of caring professionals that wanted to get me back to doing the things I love. Make the call to Marigold Medical and get back to pain-free life.